Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am going to be making basmati rice because I'm going to be making galumpkis, which is cabbage, ground beef, the rice. You roll it. Some people will use sauce. I'm going to use tomato soup. That's what my aunt always used. So, start off by going in with the 2 cups basmati rice. I'm going to give that a stir. We're going to let that come to a boil, and then I'll turn it off and put a lid on it. In the meantime, I'm going to get a pot and get ready to start boiling my cabbage leaves. So, I've been wanting to make this. I don't have this on the channel, and I thought that I would bring you along with me today to make this. So, let me get the pot ready to boil for the cabbage. You can always read the directions on the rice. You can rinse the rice. I'm just letting this come to a boil for 2 to 3 minutes. And then I'm going to turn it off, move it to the back burner, and just keep a lid on it because I want it to cool down as well before I put it in with my ground meat. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to move it back to there. We're going to put a lid on it. Rice is done. Ground beef is over here in the sink, thawed, and I have to get the cabbage ready. So let me find a pot so I can boil some of the cabbage leaves because I don't see a big pot here. So hang tight. Okay, so I didn't find a huge pot, so this is going to be a little bit different for me. This is the only size pot I could find is right here. And you can either cut the stem off of your cabbage. This cabbage I had to take off a lot of leaves that weren't good. That's going to be scraps for the chicken. You can either try ever so gingerly to get whole leaves off like that, or you can cut the bottom and then try to get leaves that way. So there's the cabbage, and I think I'm going to cut the end off because one of the cabbages is going to be for cabbage soup. I wanted to bring to the channel. I really don't think they'll eat it because they only eat meat. So everything has to have meat in it. So that's the biggest pot I could find, like I said. And I am wearing my black fuzzy thing again, per usual, because it's chilly willy, so don't mind. Okay, these are done. So because I wanted to bring this to the channel, I gave her a heads up that this is what I would be making. So I'm just going to cut the stem off. And then you can just, hopefully you're seeing this, you can just go around it. You could put a slit down in about 1/4 inch to 1 inch where the root would be, so that you can get pieces off. Now, and I'm not sure if it's Polish or German, but I can tell you what, I absolutely love it. And don't worry, some will rip. It's just how it goes. Before I used to just put it in the pot and would let the whole head boil some. So this is a little tedious, so you need to take your time. Try to get some leaves off like that. It's probably the most tedious part of this whole recipe. The rest of it's fairly easy to make, and it's good and delicious. It will go in the oven, and it will bake. You just have to work with your cabbage. Try to get whole pieces, but even if they're halved and they rip, it's fine. You can still make this recipe work. That's just the water that you hear. So I guess we'll try it and eat it because it'll have meat in it. it's just ground beef, rice, some seasonings, and you can use tomato sauce, or you can use tomato soup, which is how my aunt made it, and that's what I'm going to do. You would just add the water to the size can. This is a big can that I grabbed at the store yesterday. It's the family size can right there, which is 23.2 ounces. So this is like a 1 pound can. I don't know if we'll use all that, but we'll see. I got the cabbage because Debbie went to Produce Junction. And I thought, yeah, let me get 2 heads. They weren't the biggest heads, but let me get 2 heads so I can at least make cabbage soup. Being that it's winter. And Galumpkis. I used to make them for my kids. See, if it rips like this, you don't even have to worry at all. My kids used to love it. I haven't made it in years. And what I'm going to do is I am going to stand here ever so patiently. And I am going to you just keep cutting into it as you get further down. But I'm going to stand here and do the tedious job. And that is getting the cabbage leaves off. And I will bring you back as soon as I have it all done. Okay, so hopefully you can see. Let me show you the cabbage. Some pieces will be smaller as you get down to the end, and that's okay too. And then basically what you're going to want to do, you could do one at a time, 2 to 3 minutes. If your pot's big enough, you could get 2 in there. You just want them to soften up so that you can roll them. So that's the next step. The rice is back there doing its thing. I have all this peeled, and that should be enough for the amount of ground meat that I took out. Like I said, it doesn't matter if some pieces rip. You're going to just let this get a little bit soft, and then you're just going to take it out, let it cool, and continue on with the process. So these first 2 pieces are soft enough for me. Just do your best, getting it out of the water. Then you go in with more. If it's really big, you can just put 1 and just wait. There's the color. It's basically just blanched for a couple seconds. Sorry about the steam, my friends. So I'm going to get ready to take this one out, and then I'm going to keep doing this process. Taking them out, and then I will bring you back when I'm all done. So I wanted to show you this vibrant color. It just pretty much is blanching it. Like I said, don't worry about as you get in further to the cabbage. It's a little bit more whitish yellow looking. It's fine, because don't forget, you are going to be putting this in the oven as well. So I'm on to these pieces now. The other good part is to get your rice going first, because the rice looks fantastic. Everything will already be pre-done. Your rice will be done. That'll be able to cool. Your cabbage will be able to cool. In order for you to mix it in with your ground meat, in order for you to mix in your rice, with the ground meat, you'll be able to handle it better. You'll definitely be able to handle your cabbage better if you can actually touch it. So these are the steps that I take. And then I already have the rice done, ground meat stalling, doing the cabbage now. Once this cabbage is all done, I'm going to let it rest and cool off. And then I'm going to use, I think it's a 9 by 12 or something like that glass pan as soon as I can locate it. And I'm going to roll them, which I will show you how to do that, and then they'll go in the oven. So just a couple steps, but it is quick and easy, and you probably have a lot of the ingredients already on hand. Sorry if you're having trouble seeing. The steam's making it a little dark in here. Sometimes I hold the stem part down. I don't know if you can see that. Let me back it up. The stem, I'll hold that down in the water for a couple seconds. But we're almost at the end of this. Just be careful taking it out. I think I only have a few more to go. But these steps, which is the moral of my story, makes this go by a little bit faster. And like I said, this is super easy. You can make this for a weekend. You can make this for during the week. Just make some extra if you want some leftovers. Just they usually all go. I don't know how they'll like them because they just eat kind of really plain, just like meat, either by itself or meat with something else. But this is delicious. Like I said, I haven't made this in a while. My kids all loved it. And I am down to 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces to go. Worst case scenario, can always dip into the other cabbage head if I need some more leaves to fill up. I think it's a 9 by 13 is what I think it is, the pan. I don't know where she put it. I have to look for it. So we are getting down to the end right here. A couple of littler pieces. We can just put these in together. That's just how I do it. I do these steps in the morning. It's about 11 here. And I can have this already done and ready to go for later. This would make for a really good freezer meal too. You can make this up in advance. You're just semi-cooking this. And you don't cook the ground beef. It cooks with the rice. So this would make for a perfect freezer meal if you have the room. Okay, got this one and one more big green one to go. And that's the steps. So basmati rice, I did that first, cooked it, just checked it, it's done. And then the cabbage, ground meat stalling. And it's pretty easy to put it together once you get these few little steps out of the way. And the reason for doing this is so that you can touch it to roll it. You don't have to be perfect, just as long as it holds the meat. You want to get meat, rice, and cabbage in your dish. And here's the last big one going in. You can make a pan of these up even New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. I usually always make a pork every New Year's Day for good health, good luck, good fortune. So I really was in a mood for these. I love them. And I didn't have them on the channel, so I thought, why not? I'll bring these along and make some Galumpkis. I'm sure other people call them something else. That's just what I call them. I'm just holding the stem down, and then we're done. I'm going to let this all cool. I'll bring you back when we're ready to start assembling. Okay, this is what the rice looks like. The rice is done. You can see it's steamy. So I'm going to put it on the back burner. I'm going to let that cool. Here is the Pyrex pan that I'm going to use. And once everything cools off and we go to assemble, like I previously said, I'll bring it back. Okay, so I put the meat in the pot after I washed it because I can't seem to find a big enough bowl. And I just chopped it up just a little bit. Make sure your hands are clean. We're going to go in with some salt, which I have to use her salt shaker. You want at least a teaspoon, so a teaspoon and a half. Black pepper. Yes, I have to use her salt and pepper like this. If you all know my stuff from where I live, I just pinched it. Okay. And if you hear that noise, it's just the washing machine. Okay. And we're going to go in with some garlic powder. This is about 4 or 5 pounds of ground beef. Some onion powder. Some parsley. Like so. And I think that's it. And then what we're going to do, you can do some Italian seasoning in this as well, which I'm going to do a little bit of Italian seasoning. About, I'd say that's 2 teaspoons. And that's it. And you can give this a mix. The burner's not on. I'm just going to mix in the seasoning first before I go in with my hands. Okay, now as far as the soup is concerned, let me find her hand can opener. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole can, but you kind of want to make it just like you were going to be doing soup. So I don't know if I'm going to use the whole can. I think I'm going to start off with half. You add the water. All I did was open it. See if I can find a whisk. Not exactly, but I'm just gonna eyeball. You make sure you have light. Bring it closer. Adjust you a little bit here to that white bowl. I am going to add, matter of fact, I am going to use the whole thing because I just remembered it's 2 small cans or 1 large can. If you want to use sauce, you can. You just want to whisk it all in. Like so. And that part is done. Now, I'm going to take my dish, move it over closer so y'all can see. I'm going to take a 1/2 cup scoop, equal out to a cup, and we're going to put it on the bottom. Okay. Now, we're going to go in with the rice. Now, if you end up having like extra left over, you can end up making somewhat like a meatloaf from the extra. So I'm just going to scoop some of the rice out. I'm going to eyeball it. Make sure I didn't make too much. I'm going to go with about that much and start mixing it in. So I think I did 2 cups of rice. I will leave the recipe down in the description. I'm just trying to get this done early today so I can get a few other things done because I haven't been out in their garage, and that's where my jars have been when we had those freezing temperatures. And nothing's organized, and I want to make sure that nothing broke or burst. Just mix it really well. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more of the rice. Actually, I'm just going to go in with the rest of the rice. I was thinking about keeping some off to the side. Some butter, salt, and pepper. But that's okay. So we just want to get this thoroughly incorporated. My rice is still a little warm. That's okay. The meat's cold. And the cabbage should be hopefully warm enough by now. And then God's best tools are your hands. So we're going to want to go in with our hands and start. I haven't rolled one in a while. You can roll it like this. You can tell by how much meat you want to put in it by the size of the leaf. And then I'm just going to roll this one because it's a little odd shape. I'm just going to roll it like so. Has a little rip. Don't worry about it. And it's going to go just like that. Let me see if I can use the bigger pieces first. Some you can rip if you want. Start it on the end, like so. Don't be shy with the meat, but also don't overfill. I have to take a tiny bit out of that one. So some of these little pieces, you don't have to waste either. You could just roll them up and squeeze them in. So I'll roll a couple more with you, and then I'll finish doing the rolling and get this pan filled up. I like to use a flat surface to roll them, but since I'm trying to show you guys. Okay, so let me show you. There they are. I'm going to keep rolling, and then I will bring you back. Okay, so I filled my pan up, and now I am moving on to another pan. Like I said, you don't have to roll them perfect, just roll them. I'm trying to use the last couple pieces of cabbage here. The smaller the piece, the less meat you're going to be able to get in there to roll it. Let's see. Let's do this one. As you can see, there's likely going to be meat left over. Don't mind that noise, that's our washing machine. Just roll it the best you can when they start coming down to these little tiny pieces. And squeeze it on in. Okay, let me rinse my hands. Wash my hands, I should say. Get this out of the way and show you what they look like. Seems dark in here today. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's any better. Probably not. So this whole pan is done, and I'm using a little Pyrex. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go over it. And you're going to pour the soup. Like I said, if you want to use tomato sauce, you can. I don't. This will go in an oven, 350 for about 30 minutes because we only just pre-cooked the cabbage. So that's what I mean. You can get a lot from just a head of cabbage to feed a lot of family members. Or you could turn this into a freezer meal. There we go. Now, what I think I'm going to end up doing with what's left of the meat, because there's not enough room for me to put it in there, but normally you can make a little tiny meatloaf out of it. If I can, let's see if I can locate another pan. She only has one rack, but that's what I'm going to end up doing with it. This is how much is left of the meat with the rice, which isn't a ton. You can also just put this in a bowl or a Ziploc baggie, and you can cook it up later. But there it is. There's my Galumpkis. That's how I do it. I only had that one little piece left, so that's not bad. I'm going to put this in the oven, 350 for 30 to 35 minutes till the meat's cooked and the cabbage is nice and tender, and that will be dinner. So I will bring you back when they are done. Let me give you a closer look. Okay, so let me get the oven, preheat it, and I will bring you back. Okay, so let me show you. They are all done and delicious looking. When I go to cut one open to eat, I will show you what it looks like. But there it is. Easy peasy recipe and done nice and early today. Since it's early and it's not exactly dinner time, I am going to scoop one out so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. I'm just going to go for like a little one. Okay, let me put it up here. Move you guys down to here. And I will show you what the inside of that looks like. 1 second. I just decided to take one from the smaller tray so you could see. Grab a fork. Okay. Look at that, it just falls apart. Oh my goodness. You can always have extra tomato sauce on the side. Perfectly cooked on the inside. Now let's see. See how I did. Hot. Sorry, it was a little hot. I just did a little sprinkle more salt on there. Absolutely delicious. Hopefully you give this recipe a try. Like I said, it's early. It's not even quite 2 o'clock here. But I wanted to get this done early. And yeah, that's what it looks like. It's delicious. Tastes good. Again, I hope that you give this recipe a try. It's delicious. It's been in the family for a long time. Like, subscribe, share. If you make it or you make it a little bit differently, leave me a comment down below. And yeah, would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.